Okay. I'd like to call the order Planning Commission meeting on August 18th at 5:36. The land that we know as Squim was once inhabited solely by First Peoples known as the Sklallam people, represented by 3 tribal governments: Lower Elwha Sklallam, Jamestown Sklallam, and Port Gamble Sklallam. We serve as stewards of the land within the city of Sequim with the same care and consideration the Sklallam tribes has and continues to provide. This acknowledgement is a respect to the Sklallam people and their history. The Planning Commission serves as an advisory body to the City Council. The purpose of the Planning Commission is to provide guidance and direction for Sequim's future growth through continued review and improvement to Sequim's comprehensive plan, zoning code, shoreline management, environmental protection, and related land use documents. The Planning Commission will have all the powers and perform each and all the duties specified by Chapter 35A, .63 RCW as amended and set forth or amended by Ordinance 2009-036. Could we do a roll call, please?
Commissioner Kuntz is absent today. Commissioner Cummings.
Here.
Commissioner Fain. Commissioner Habel is asked to be excused. Commissioner Huth.
Present.
Commissioner Lefevre.
Here.
And Commissioner Mahalik is also asked to be excused.
Okay, well, join me with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. So we have the minutes of the August 4th meeting. Any comments, corrections? Okay. We have a motion to, yes?
Move to approve.
Okay.
Second.
All those in favor of approving the minutes, raise your hand. Okay. Thank you very much. Minutes have been approved. Public comment. Do we have any people interested in participating?
Not at this time.
Okay. Moving right along to the comprehensive plan update. Carla, please. Ready for your update.
Well, good evening, planning commissioners. So thank you. We're rounding the bend here. So for our status update, I'll just continue to keep it short and sweet. We are down to the last few meetings with you all for the comprehensive plan. The next session after today's meeting will be at the public hearing September 1st. We'll talk a little bit more about that in our next agenda item. And then after your public hearing, we're working towards the September 28th public hearing in front of the City Council. And what may happen that night is they may take their hearing deliberations and make a motion, and that will come back in the first meeting in October with the adopting ordinance, is what I'm expecting might happen that night. And then, as I mentioned at our last meeting, which is not on the schedule yet. I'll probably be working on that next, is that we do have the critical area ordinance. That is our next body of work. And so it's possible that we may take a meeting off in October or so. Hopefully you guys might find that welcome, and we can catch our breath a little bit and get us geared up for our next set of work. But we'll talk a little bit more about that in September. So with that, happy to answer any questions about our schedule.
Looks like no questions. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, the next thing we have proposed revisions CROSSWALK. Travis, you can be in charge of this?
It'll be shared duties, but yeah, I'll kick us off.
Okay.
Yeah, so as you saw in the agenda, and as we're going to discuss today, we're going to talk about some proposed revisions to both the comprehensive plan and Title 18. These are either staff initiated or based on some of the comments that were received and are indicated as such. And then we'll have an opportunity for you guys to propose some revisions if you have any. So we can jump right in. Oh, right. No, sorry. I'm still getting used to. And before we get too far down, I do just want to say that in light of what we're doing today, since these are under construction, I took the liberty to go back through the city's construction photo library and include past pictures of construction projects because we are like I said, we're under construction and we're working on this thing. So working towards the finished product. But so as mentioned, we're going to talk about revisions that we've suggested based on comments received, or just as we've continued to read through it and gone, maybe there's a way we can fine tune that. We had a developers forum. We obviously had our open houses that have helped us refine all of these things. So just an opportunity to take a look at this before we go to hearing. And just a reminder that the crosswalks that you're seeing today will probably continue to get updated up until those public hearings. So these are what we have for now, and we'll probably find more.
So I'm going to go over just the comprehensive plan and appendices, proposed revision. So you saw these in your packet. So I don't need, unless you want me to, I wasn't planning on going line by line for them. So I'll just kind of stop at each page and see if you guys have any questions. But I think here on this first page, it's mostly some just very, correcting a council member person. It's identifying, we still want to make a staff acknowledgement, but they're no longer with the city. So just identifying them as former. And then, of course, we had the recommendation from planning commissioner about an acronyms and abbreviations table, which is probably the most substantive change that we're proposing for the comprehensive plan. So the rest of it is relatively straightforward. I would say for the water, for that last one there on page 1, and then the same for stormwater is adding a paragraph. So it's the same. So this is in the capital facility plan. It's the same language for water, stormwater, and sewer, it's towards the end of each section, just acknowledging that there will be improvements to the city system for all three of those, or all the 2 utilities and stormwater that will be prepared by the developer on a project by project basis as a development permit comes in. So, and then just wanted to note as my kind of the last comment here is that under public participation, we did change the date of our developers forum. We originally had scheduled from July 30th and we changed it to August 13th. We had it last week. And so those are just super simple, straightforward. Nothing not too substantive. I do want to note that we'll probably make a few more changes, which are under the miscellaneous, formatting and grammatical table, like things that we took a look at as we were pushing out the document July 13th that we can go and correct. I did want to note that we are awaiting comment letters from our state agencies, but I did want to go ahead and report to you some good news. We have received a number of them already. So we've heard from DNR, which is in your comment packet, your public comment packet. We heard from WashDOT, and I can't remember if that made it in that packet. And then we might have gotten it after we compiled it. And then we heard from Department of Commerce on Friday. Great news. Nobody actually has substantive comments. So I was just on the phone with Commerce today. Very pleased with our comprehensive plan. Has 2 comments, of which one for sure we'll do, and the second one I just need to do a little bit more research on. Great news. So feel really good about that. Any questions then on the proposed, the crosswalk for the proposed revisions to the comprehensive plan before I hand it back over to Travis? Okay. Oh, so this is our acronym table. Sorry, I'll just flip through that. That was provided to us by our Public Works Department. So it will live within the capital facility plan appendix B1 at the very beginning. All right. Thank you.
I really liked this picture. It's a picture of the building we're in right now. But yes, so let's talk about Title 18. So you may have noticed I have quite a few already. There were 12 pages, I believe, in my crosswalk. I think we're over 60, nearing 70-ish. But yeah, I mean, the gist of a lot of it is clarity. It's updates as I read through it again after taking maybe a few months away from it and looking at it once more, maybe as new projects have come in, and kind of gives you the ability to look at it from another lens. It's like, yeah, we should probably just clean this up so that it doesn't, pose issues in the future. So a lot of updates to definitions. I think that's the majority of the first few pages is definitions, where there's maybe conflicting or overlap between two definitions that could, if it may not be an issue for me to administer, but there's the possibility that I'm not here forever. And if I'm not, then the planner after me has to be able to administer it cleanly as well. So just doing things like that as far as the definitions go to make sure it's ease of administration. I mean, you've probably heard us say that 100+ times at this point through all of the Title 18, Title 17 work that we've done in the last year. That's been the focal point of a lot of pretty much everything we're doing is ease of administration, clarity, make the process simpler and easier to track and understand. And so by doing a lot of these updates to the definitions, we're getting closer to that. So I'll just kind of click through the definitions here. And then as we get into really, this is an acknowledgement of the manufactured home park overlay down there at the bottom under establishment of zoning districts. There was a lot of time and effort put into that, so I wanted to make sure it was captured in that part of the code. And then some updates to the zoning districts themselves. A lot of it there's an emphasis on setbacks. So we've thought about this a little bit more as I've looked through the ADU standards and just generally how site plans and binding site plans versus fee simple and how those developments all come together. And so one of the big updates is for things in non-residential and mixed use zones where we're considering allowing side yard setbacks to be determined by the IBC and IFC. So essentially fire safety will dictate how close buildings and structures can be. As site plans and binding site plans become more popular for other development types, really that's the controlling metric or the controlling measure of how far apart structures can be is IFC, fire safety. And so the perspective we're looking at it from is regardless of if it's on its own lot, a shared lot, that driving reason or what is keeping those structures separated and safe from one another should be the same, regardless of how the property is necessarily owned. We are going to keep a side setback in residential mostly in our detached single family residential zone. It's going to drop. We're proposing to drop it to 5. Again, 10 feet is kind of your standard for fire separation, and there's a way you can handle the eaves for when you're encroaching into that. So we felt it was appropriate. It's consistent across the entire Title 18 that we just utilize fire separation as kind of the measure by which structures need to be separated. And then also the acknowledgement of the alley, allowing that to be 0 feet for alley structures or as determined by the city engineer. As we discussed last time, there's a requirement for alleys to be able to be cited, or for ADUs to be able to be cited on alleys. located at the property line, unless they are routinely plowed. So kind of our cover there is as determined by the city engineer for now. I mean, if there's, again, this is a draft, right? So if anybody wants to talk about that further, happy to do so. But for now, that's how we've proposed it. And then again, just some more cleanup, some incorrect citations to old code chapters that we're just updating. And then, yeah, it took Commissioner Will Habel's recommendation for mini storage in the business and employment districts. And so it is not permitted in the HTLI. Let's see, just kind of reading. And by all means, if you have questions as I'm going through this, just feel free to jump in. But you know, I think the big updates were clarity driven. We had a specifically for height in the PRC here, there was just an update so that multifamily structures could go taller than single family structures. That was just an oversight on our part when we initially drafted it. We intended to write it the way that it's been proposed to be revised. And then let's just see. Yeah, some numbering errors that are being fixed. So there's typos, there's clarity purposes. A lot of things in here I think are just necessary for the work that we're going to be doing and wanting to be able to easily administer this code in the future. The protections of Gary Oaks, I realized like a week and a half ago that I had deleted and not replaced somewhere. So I found its new home because I know that is greatly important for our area and I didn't want to see that lost. So that is now a general requirement under landscaping. If there's existing Gary Oaks, then you've got to protect them. Yeah, so really, I don't think there's a whole lot that changes the direction or kind of the intent of what you've already reviewed. It is, again, mainly just for ease of administration, clarity, and maybe things that we omitted that we didn't tend to omit and wanted to make sure were captured. So any questions about Title 18? Go ahead, Alex.
Oh, sure. These may be tangents. My apologies if so. In the minimum side setbacks of 5 feet, can that contain a propane tank, or is that a whole different?
It's good. It's a good thought. So generally, I believe that propane tanks and things can be located within setback areas, but you know, there's obvious fire protection. So Joel reviews all of that as part of building permit and any new propane tank placements. And so, you know, I'll default to our building official, fire marshal, to be the one to determine when it is and isn't safe. But, you know, he's been out since we've kind of made some of these tweaks, and it is something that I want to run by him so that we're sure that exactly for things like that we can confirm with him aren't going to be an issue. So it's in here for now, but then if we get feedback from him that maybe there needs to be an inclusion of separation for specific things like propane tanks, then we'll go ahead and add that as well.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Oh,
go ahead.
Again. I see your fine tuning of the supermarket definition that's under 75,000. Do you have a definition for big box like Costco that's more than 75,000 feet? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, so let me pull open the actual draft. Carla, I'm glad you made me bring it. Although, so big box store and chain retail is its own specific definition. And I just want to be able to read that exactly. Well, I don't think big box store is up there. Okay, so chain retail and big box stores is basically that is going to be over 75,000. So those will be the big ones. And then if you fall under the 75,000, then you would be a supermarket. So that was kind of the one of the reasons for cleanup there was there are things that could be big box retail, but then also could be a supermarket because I didn't have the inclusion of the 75,000 square feet in the definition to supermarket, but I have it for big box store and chain retail. So by including it here, it does at least distinguish like, hey, if you're under, this is what you're called. And then there's less concern of like, hey, well, I'm actually 3 of these use types. What am I? Because, you know, Walmart is a grocery store as much as it's a convenience store, as much as it's a clothing store. So that would be, I don't know the exact square footage of Walmart, but it could be one or the other, supermarket or big box, depending on its size. So it's more of a size breakdown than anything else. The lines are blurred nowadays with stores,
Right.
especially something like Costco that is literally, you can get anything there. So
Right.
go ahead.
One more.
Keep going.
If this is about sidewalks and where you have them in different areas, would addition of new sidewalks be something covered by the transportation improvement program? And yeah, not in
Yep.
this
So it
definition.
would be as part of the TMP and engineering standards, and then it would be something we would look for at land division. So in Title 17, as well as through site planning in Title 18.
Great. Oh, and did you get, this is a little off, recommendations for additional sidewalks here and there around town in your feedback
I
process?
think it's part of the CIP. This is for areas, and I think Nick actually talked about it at one of his most recent council appearances, was advocating for sidewalks in more of the existing neighborhood streets.
Right.
So instead of doing maybe, you know, the bigger projects, you can take some money and actually do you know, and I don't want to speak for him, but essentially maybe more impactful work on those neighborhood streets that have been kind of bypassed or overlooked in
Right.
past planning. So
Okay, thanks.
I know it's on the radar.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I've got the art gallery section.
Sure.
And I think I read it twice and I still am not sure. The retail part of an art gallery. It was in originally, and then when I read it, I couldn't find the retail for artists to sell their stuff. Is that
Sure. And I think and I can easily add it back. I think the intent there was that it was almost like an implied or an obvious, like in the context of the use table, it was going to be allowed. But if it makes sense to just include it, then it's easy enough to add back. But I think the thought was more to ensure that you could do all of these things in addition to retail. So I think I'll just add it back. Yeah, that's easy enough to do. So
yeah, just to let the artists know that
you can sell your work.
Sell your stuff.
Yeah. No, I think that makes sense. Yep.
Okay, great. Thanks. Anybody else? Okay.
Well, we're at the part of the agenda that is, if you all in the last couple weeks have identified anything that you want to either transmit to us verbally through here, you certainly can email it to us. Or if there was anything at all, whether in the planning, or in the comprehensive plan, goals and policies, appendices, or in Title 18 that you think merited some discussion, or any questions as planning commissioners. Doesn't mean it's your last chance, but it's your almost last chance. So just wanted to check in to see if there was anything on your mind that we should talk about.
Sure. Well, I was impressed with Travis's responses to public comments submitted. He took a lot of time and he used a lot of wisdom in answering them. and all that. I'm sure everybody appreciated it.
At the open houses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like the next, 30 or 40 pages of public comments sent in.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in our next agenda item.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, I'm ahead.
No, that's
I'm
okay.
ahead of things.
Of course.
Okay.
I just want to say that throughout this whole process, you have let us talk, make recommendations, talk through stuff that we didn't understand or needed to learn about. And that's been very helpful for me. And I think the others too, that it's been a very detailed, thoughtful process and inclusive. So thank you for that. And I think that has developed into a very good document, that what we need.
Great.
So thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, and the next thing on the item?
Oh, I have one more slide. Sorry. So this is just kind of our wrap up. So we will be meeting again in 2 weeks. We have a lot that we're going to pack into in the next 2 weeks. So we'll continue to update the crosswalks. So again, we'll have these two crosswalks, comprehensive plan and Title 18. They're going to be updated primarily based on the comment letters received, and probably more so for Travis as things come up. We find that like we get a question from somebody and Travis is like, oh, I should add that to the crosswalk. So like we're going to be trying to make it as perfect as we can, like literally up to the hearing or until we transmit it to you guys. So what we're going to do is on August 25th, we'll have a staff report. The staff report will talk a lot about the process we've gone through, the requirements of the Growth Management Act. We'll have a section in there about those site-specific rezones. We've talked about those many times and how they're being reflected in the future land use map and the zoning map. We'll break those down one more time for you guys, and then attached with that will be some proposed findings and conclusions. And then as part of your packet, which will be, you send out regular time on Friday, which will be August 28th, we'll post the staff report on the website on the 25th. The packet will be emailed and posted on our website. And these will then include our revised revision crosswalks for, again, the comp plan and Title 18. We'll come up with a way that that subtly identifies to you new ones, so you don't have to go back and read the whole crosswalk again. You can just check the ones that have been added since this packet that for tonight's meeting. And then there will be, as part of your Planning Commission packet, the public comment crosswalk and response memo. And I'm going to talk about that at our next agenda item. So that will be what to expect from us as far as your public hearing packet. And then, of course, we'll have your September 1st hearing. That will be the only thing on the agenda, will be you opening the hearing. Hopefully we'll have some public comment here for you. We will be advertising the public hearing. The legal ad will get published on Saturday, and we have posted it on our website, or will by tomorrow. And what we're asking the public to do is, if they provide written comment prior to Monday, the day before the hearing, by 4:00, we will email you that. We'll compile it and email it to you so you can have it prior to your hearing. But if anything we receive day of hearing, we will provide hard copies to you and they'll be sitting at the dais for you when you come in for that hearing. Then, of course, people are welcome to come and, provide their verbal testimony to you. I also have to say that I have to sort out a little bit about how we're going to move forward with the draft supplemental EIS. A preferred alternative needs to be chosen. I think that I might bring that up as a agenda item after the public hearing. Now that I said it was the only thing on your agenda, it might be the second thing on the agenda. I need to go back and read the SEPA rules and just confirm that approach. But the supplemental EIS public comment period ended on Thursday of August, last Thursday, the 13th. We received 2 comments. However, they were actually comments on the comp plan and not on the EIS, but because they were submitted under the form that we were using for the EIS, we'll need to include them into that as well. So you actually have already received them in the packet for tonight. So those are our next steps. And any questions?
Okay.
Okay,
And so
that.
are we going to talk about the public comments?
Yep, at
Okay.
your
Next.
next.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
Tell us the story.
Yes. So we, as you saw from your agenda packet, we transmitted the public comments that we've received to date. We did our best to organize them. I mean, Nick did a great job making a table of contents for you, and then we identified each comment letter by a number, so you can see who's commenting on what. We do have a few more that we have received since we compiled that on Thursday. So what like I mentioned, just seconds ago, as part of your packet for the public hearing, you'll have a updated public comment compilation. So we'll, I have to decide. I was like, we'll either send you everything again, or we may send you everything from August 13th. So you're not getting the full package again. However, what you will get from us that you didn't get this time is a public comment response memo and crosswalk. So we will document each of those comments in a crosswalk similar to the revision. So it's a table. We'll say comment number, when we received it, who submitted it, what the kind of the summary of the comment, and then there will be a staff response. The staff response may say something like see public comment staff memo, because I'm sure as you saw through the comments, there's a number of themes that bubbled up in it, and the answers to a lot of the comments are the same. So I'll be preparing a memo where with substantial public works director and city engineer assistants will be responding to a number of those themes. So again, that's how we'll transmit the public comment to you, and that you'll get a chance to see what staff is thinking. There are a couple comments that people made specific suggestions on goals and policies that we'll certainly take a sincere look at. And if we think that they make sense, we will recommend or we'll have a comment on it, on whether we recommend including them, or if we don't, the reason why.
Okay. Any questions? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, just an observation. We talked about how many people in the community are concerned about the water issues. Is there a way you can provide a reference for the community to kind of the layers of oversight? So with West Bay, there was a sequence of events that happened to make sure that water continued to be provided.
Right.
Is that something that you can provide with the comments about water, say, see state document or county document or PUD, just to assure them there's multiple levels of backup?
Yes, I believe that the public works director is personally, or the city engineer and public works director are working on that. We're going to either update or create the fact sheet that we have, and that will get posted on the website. That will be one of the comments, that we can refer to as well. But yes, I think that the public works director is personally handling that and ensuring that we have accurate information that goes out to the public and certainly the members of the private water system as well. Yeah, but good idea. And yes, that is the intent. Thank you.
All right. Looks like thank you
Okay.
for the good report.
Great.
No more questions or comments. New business? No.
Travis, do you have any response on any of the major submissions in the public comments? The lead one said, hey, you ought to realize what a great retirement destination is, and you can't outdraw Port Townsend or Port Angeles for access for to the Olympic Peninsula Park for tourism. And so you ought to really whoop-de-doo it up to make this a great retirement destination, which is different than the comprehensive plans sort of. Comprehensive plan is more looking for more diversity of land uses, covering needs of various family groups and age groups and income groups and everything. But I was wondering if you have general comments on some of the themes.
That particular comment letter was submitted in response to the housing and economic market report, and he attended the joint meeting that you had with the city council, which was last fall, where Leland Consulting kind of provided the results of their market analysis. And so that particular citizen wrote that comment like the next day after it, and just commenting on kind of that dialogue that you all on the city council had, and honestly, the results of that report. And I mean, I don't know what our specific response is going to be other than it can be all these things. Like the comprehensive plan is geared for providing, or it focuses on providing a variety of housing types. It is wanting to further the ability to be family friendly. It supports people, the folks who want to retire here. It's intended to support entrepreneur, and the craftsmanship and the, the handyman services that the person spoke about. And so like there's room for all of that in our comprehensive plan and in the city of Sequim.
Right. And there were certain landowners said, oh, gee, I bought this property because it was owned a certain way, and now you're changing that. And I imagine you've had conversations and things, or reconsideration of those parcels with each of those landowners that have contacted you.
Yeah, so that was that other comment letter for highway commercial.
Right.
And we had originally, when that email string that Travis was in, I know we put the whole email string in as public comment. We probably could have just used the last email from him, but it was a conversation you and he had over the course of a couple months, and we are recommending retaining the zoning that he currently has.
Oh, that's great to hear.
And I guess just to add to that, like, and we talked about it a little bit with things like the HTLI. I spent some time actually going back and reading past minutes from when Title 18 was last updated in a substantial way, which was basically to get it in compliance with the 2015 plan, and the HTLI was basically being realized. And a lot of those comments were, like from real estate agents or from property owners that were saying, like, so while they're not comments in today's plan, I mean, there was a lot that helped shape what we did in the use tables and everything. So, I'm hopeful we won't get those same comments this time around when we go to adopt Title 18, because I think we've really taken a holistic look at the zones, and we've taken all the feedback we've gotten over the years directly to us or from past city work, and I think we've let that kind of help drive where we're ending up today. So.
Okay. And then also comments on increasing the multiracial aspect of the city demographics. There's not much we can do except what's already been done for a variety of types of housing and at all those various income brackets that are our target from the state.
That's exactly
about
right.
it.
Yeah. So the state requirement is to provide the racially disparate impact analysis, which is in Appendix A. And then you're exactly right. To Commerce's response right now is to make sure that we address the housing by income bracket. Now, I think that if we noted in our racially disparate impact analysis, if there was something egregious that we needed to correct, that we would do that. But the analysis did not show that. So.
No, you keep us thinking, Alex. Thanks.
Yeah,
All
thank
right.
you.
Next thing is a director's report. Do you have any more things for us?
I don't, other than we're looking forward to September 1st hearing in front of you. And
Yeah.
oh, that's right. Yes. I forgot. Yes. So Travis and I are the guest speakers at Coffee with Colleen tomorrow, which is the weekly Zoom meeting that Colleen McAleer hosts. She's the executive director with the Clallam County EDC. So we'll be making a presentation, just giving them a big overview of the comp plan, the work we've done over the last couple years, the work you all have done, and just leading up again to our public hearings in September.
Well,
And yeah, and then just getting us to hearing. There's a lot to do between now and then. The developers forum. Thank you, Matt. So we held the developers forum last Thursday, and we didn't get a robust attendance. We had 3 people attend the forum, but it was good. And Travis gave the overview of Title 18. It was really actually similar to what he had given you before in the past, and and it's helpful to walk through it and just share our thinking and like you said, Eileen, about how we got to where we're at today. So, so it was good. Glad to host it, and yeah.
Great. Well, thank you very much. Okay, we're on to the good of the order. Well, the Clallam County Fair is this weekend. Travis can hardly wait to go with his kids. But folks, it's an opportunity to learn all kinds of things about activities in Clallam County. So anybody else? Okay, then a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor, raise your hand. Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you so much.